Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Our next conversation, we're talking about invoking positive change with mindfulness in 2025. And joining us this morning on set, no stranger to the Now Morning Show, but the first time for the year, Dr. Paula Robertson, Paediatrician. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, Happy New Year, ladies.
Happy New Year.
I'm good. I'm
Glad to have the flower back in the hair.
Yeah. I know you missed it.
Yes. And we're so happy that you're here with us because it's a new year and we've actually been talking about New Year's resolutions and all these great things that we're going to be doing for 2025, hopefully. But one of the things that you are going to talk to us about specifically is how we get the positive change in mindfulness, which of course is going to trickle down to everything else in our life.
Oh, yeah.
So where do we start?
Well, I actually want to challenge your definition there a little bit because, I am just as guilty of setting New Year's resolutions that last, I don't know, maybe 2 days at least. 2 days. Eat better, exercise, I don't know. Have you guys set your resolutions yet?
Yes.
Yes,
They made me make up one.
But I do want to change the term a little bit and think about instead setting New Year's intentions.
Okay.
And so what's the difference? Well, often, resolutions are maybe tasks that we set ourselves. I will go to the gym, I will eat more vegetables, that sort of things. And did you know that for the date, I think it's January the 15th, is the day where most people actually lose or give up on their resolutions.
Okay, we should make plans. January 15th, we'll be checking dates.
But let's change it around and think instead, let's set intentions. So intentions now come from a point of who is the person that we want to become.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
I'm ahead of the curve, guys. I'm ahead of the curve.
So we're looking more from that perspective of who do I want to change into, where do I see myself going? And stepping into that person, what then would be the things that I would like to do? So if, for example, I would like to be healthier, one of the kinds of intentions I would like to set myself in terms of my diet, my activity, my exercise, for example.
So habits.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But you got it. But it's coming then from that shift of perspective and then breaking that down into smaller little tasks that you can do every day that will get you to that place that you want to be.
So I hear you 100%. And, we all start that way. But as you said, January 15th, number one. But what about the fact that even our mind, we may have the discipline, we may be ready to be consistent, but life happens.
It does. It really does.
So how do we work with that?
Boy, do I know that. So if you would, one of the things I wanted to chat with you today, if you'd be open to it, is actually to have one of the things that I've tried to do over the last few years is to really have an end of year, and it's still time, even though we're into January.
I agree with you.
Just a review of the year that's passed.
Okay.
And then taking that forward. Because the thing is, we can't build on successes unless we acknowledge the successes that we've had in the past year, both the successes and the challenges and the learning that we need to take on. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask you if you're okay to just get into your mindful bodies, ladies. Oh, I'm so loving it. And then that really just means, as they're cracking up in the studio behind.
Because what is happening?
Just go with the flow. But the point is that what we want to do is just to take a moment and literally, in your mind's eye, imagine that you're replaying a reel of the year that's just passed. Starting from January. Yeah, how you celebrated, what you were doing, all the way through to your peak points. And maybe what happened around Carnival last year, what happened around, all the way back. Who were you with? What were you doing, for example? What happened around April, Easter? How did you celebrate? Were there any major milestones? And then so on through the year. May, June, July, August holidays. If you had vacation, did you travel? On towards the end of the year, September through to December, and how did you celebrate Christmas, and then straight into the new year, right? So with that, thinking back, almost looking back over that reel, just think about 3 challenges that you faced. What were 3 challenges that you had? And what did you learn from it? What's the learning that you took from this? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'd say, that for me, thanks for doing that exercise, that for me actually, one of the major challenges that I'm still struggling with is work-life balance, right?
Oh gosh.
So how do I learn from that actually I need to kind of schedule more self-care, more me time.
I'm good on this.
I know, right? more me time afterwards, or just really being more cognizant of my time. I know that I'm very, very guilty of going down the rabbit hole of, social media, right? So yes, really carving out more time that allows me time to actually work on myself.
Right.
Towards the end of the year for me as well, there was a lot of, we lost a lot of family members just from illness and sickness. And so one of the take homes for me from that was really appreciating family and connections. And so and again, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but definitely wanted to take home today, one of the things that you want to take from that into the new year, right? And what are the learnings you want to get from there? And also, what do you want to let go of?
Well,
what serves you no more?
I have an entire room of clothing that I'm going through.
All right.
As part of what is going to be me rolling with the punches more.
Okay.
So
I'm feeling it.
As I was saying to them, I was ahead of the curve this morning, guys. When I talked about resolutions, I talked about changing behaviors for me. And so I have started cleanse where tangible things are concerned, because I know to give up certain habits will be difficult and might take longer. But I found that when you do it with things that you could see, it's easier to transition into the things that you could feel. So I have actively started, and it's going to happen in February with a closet cleanse sale.
I love it.
So that space. So that actually is one of the things I started in December. One part of the closet was clean. There are about 6 different parts. And I will be transitioning into the year with that. And I've learned to actually, in terms of habits now, not necessarily shop on impulse and as a coping mechanism.
Oh gosh, that's so challenging.
Good on you, though. I'm
exposed right now.
I feel you.
But I love it. I think that's such a good, initiative.
I'm very proud of myself.
Could you think of anything that you might want to let go
definitely. Last year was a transformational year, to say the least. One of the things I'm definitely leaving in last year and taking into this year is being mindful, being present, and I think also being a bit more aware of others around me and how my actions may or may not adversely affect people, but also understanding that sometimes, even though it may be challenging certain decisions, you follow the calling that is meant for you.
I love it, ladies. Wow, my goodness, I'm really inspired.
Welcome.
But here's what I'm going to say. So having come from that perspective, if you have a journal, and I'll share one of my old ones here with you in a little bit. I brought it. It's really, at this point, it's a good time to kind of journal and sort of write those things down. So you might want to do that when you get home later. But from that perspective, then looking forward to 2025. So what is it that we want to bring into our lives into 2025? And so one of the best mini meditations I do is the Future You meditation. So you're going to get into it. Okay, great. So again, your mindful bodies. And again, what I just want you to imagine is that you are in a place that brings you peace or solace. So whether that is the beach, which is for me, or somewhere that's green in nature, for example, and that in the distance you're seeing a figure coming towards you. And as the figure is approaching you closer and closer, you realize that this person is somebody you feel safe with. And in fact, it is a future version of yourself. It's the self that you would like to manifest. What do they look like? Then observing them. But you may actually, because this is in your mind, step into that version of you. Literally step into that physical person. And that then allows you to absorb the characteristics that you'd like to achieve. So, for example, whether that is focus, or there's something you want to bring into being, for example, is that person more active? Do they have relationships? What is it that they've got? And imagine that they are then giving you a gift, which can look like a physical gift. So it may be something like a heart, it might be a lesson of some sort that you can take away from the interaction. And then, once you've done that, sometimes it's a word actually that they have to give you. You step away and thank them, and know that you can always come back to this future you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. The Future You meditation is awesome.
Oh, that is really awesome. I'm going to do that every day.
I know. It actually is something you can always revisit because it's your potential that you're going to step into. So from that perspective then, taking out that journal. And this is where things like vision boarding and so on really needs to come from. So it could be a board, it could be a bit of paper, it could be a little diary like mine. Exactly, yeah, I've got some good Pinterest boards actually. But coming from that perspective, who do you want to be in different aspects of your life? So what would your financial life look like? What? All right, so that it may be then that you have some images that actually give you an idea of what that would be like. What's your career path going to be like? What would you like to bring in terms of your relationships, not just romantic, but also things like family, or if you're a parent, for instance, what that's going to look like for you. What experiences do you want to have? And more importantly, what do you want to give? How do you want to give back? How do you want to?
I just want to say that I deserve extra credit for having done this homework before.
I am so proud of you.
I am so ready for
Made you bring it.
Because as much as you are being granular in terms of describing what we should be exploring in terms of the meditation itself, it really is more of tapping into, as you say, the intentions. It is about taking it a step further than just a task or a goal. It is literally embodying your ambitions. It is personifying things that we all can do, but it's just really to get into the headspace of doing that. But once you do, you're unstoppable. I have so much of what you've talked about already plotted. I feel really, really proud and very excited about myself, actually.
Yeah, you should, and you should be proud of yourself, 100%. I think...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, also something that stuck out to me is what you matching what you just said is that it also is a case of, yes, you have the intention. Once you have the intention, you actually start to put that action into place. Like when I envision my future self, I think of, okay, this means you have to be consistent. This means you have to actually follow through with the things that you want. So we'll see what happens on January 15th as to whether or not that happens.
No, we're sticking with it, ladies.
Can I also add, though, because consistency is, yes, continuously doing it, but continuously doing could be every 3 days as opposed to every single day for a start, and eventually getting to every day. I think when we put that pressure on ourselves to every single day or incredibly demanding regularity is difficult.
It is
It's daunting. So what I found works for me is it's something I'm just starting to do. I'm not going to try to do that every day, but I will try once a week. And once I accomplish it once a week for a whole month, then I can increase because I'm capable. I've shown the capabilities. When you have that faith in yourself, it's much easier when you've actually seen yourself execute.
Absolutely. And then I like, doing chunking, basically, which means that if, for example, my goal is to be healthier, that's a big one. So then maybe things like, what would that look like? So maybe in 3 months, I'd like to find myself in a size smaller outfit. So what would that mean?
That might mean size 4 or size 2. Let's go.
That might mean that I do, the gym 3 days a week and on a daily basis.
That's so funny. I'm on the other side of the fence, but I hate it.
But what would I mean? Like on a day-to-day basis, that might just mean something as simple as making sure that I take a healthier breakfast, for example. So that, but those little actions all build up over time.
They do add up.
So they add up. So if you just take one small step towards your goal in mind, and then just keep checking in, almost like a mini audit every few months to see, okay, how am I doing in terms of the goals that I've set myself?
Sounds like we should do a mini audit on the 15th of January.
I think I'll check in with you guys.
There we go.
We do that.
Absolutely.
And we're grateful that you came in to check in with us today. So we'll see you soon for our internal audit, let's say. Dr. Paula Robertson, thank you for joining us.
Anytime.
We appreciate you, and we appreciate you for watching the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.